That's right.
So
Okay.
the first stat it says that only about 30% of FBS players in the portal ever become starters again. And then the second stat is that over 70% of players who transfer do not improve their role.
Hearing that, it sounds like, when they go into the portal, they're not doing better, regardless. From, if I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like they're not doing better regardless. So where is the competition at? Is there some just individual person that's stopping them from being successful? At the end of the day, if you have somebody that goes in the portal, and from what I'm hearing, they're not that successful. So who are they competing against? What I'm seeing is that there's a diluted competition pool, and no one knows who's really a good player because you don't really have time to develop, number one. Then you have the other one where you don't have time to compete, really. So that number 3 guy, he's not competing with the number 2. He's out of there. And the number 1 guy is looking to be out of there too, because he's looking to play well and get the bigger NIL deal or whatever, stipend that we want to call it. So to me, man, it kind of looks like there's a diluted situation that's going on, and you're not going to really know the type of player that you get, until halfway through the season.
I agree with you. All right. So most of them lose leverage by entering the portal. Does that sound correct? That's based on the stats that I just gave.
Interesting way to look at it. It's one way that you can look at it. I mean, let's just be honest, guys. This is the wild, wild west of football. You're really going to have to be able to coach now, and coaches still are going to have a short amount of time to make those things happen. Just like we said before, coaches, could leave. They could have their succession plan already, and they could be recruiting a guy who believes in them wholeheartedly, and the whole time they're not even telling them, hey, I'm going to be out of here, guy. And whatever happens to you, if I can bring you with you, I'll bring you with you. But if I can't, then I'll see you when I see you. These guys are still making money. So is anyone really caring about their feelings anymore?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a situation where feelings are being thought about. I think money, life changing opportunities is what direct people a certain way. We're hearing a lot of things about kids going to the portal. They're not getting any better. We also hear things about kids going into the portal. Only 30% of them are finding homes. I mean, we don't really know what the stats are. That's what we're being told. But like I said, the thing that I look at is when we're constantly reporting that kids are running from competition, but we're not reporting that coaches are not developing kids and pushing kids into the portal. We're not going to say any names or anything like that. I mean, you don't want to call a coach out. We're just on here just speaking our personal truth about how we feel about the situation. So I think, if, the way you can solve the problem is if you want a kid to be there for 2 or 3 years, then when you recruit that kid, you sign a contract and a scholarship for 2 or 3 years. That way we're locked in together for 2 or 3 years. With the opt-out, if the coach leaves, I can leave. And that's just the way I look at it.